Have you been suspended by Etsy yet? If you haven't, you will be eventually, no doubt. It's kind of risky to be operating on Etsy right now in the first place, but just open up Facebook, saw this. Well, it happened to me. Account suspended. I'm so upset. And I've been seeing this more and more on Etsy. In fact, if you go here and you go Etsy suspended, there are a lot of people in a lot of groups all over Facebook that are complaining that their accounts are getting suspended. And it's really insane. There's some pretty big groups here. Let me find one. Um, I just saw it. Maybe it was this one. No, not in that one. Let's go to posts. There it is. Etsy suspended my account. My account was suspended for no reason. A month ago, Etsy suspended my account. Like, these are all over the place. Etsy suspended me from ever selling or buying. They say you got to file an appeal. Etsy suspended my account. These are all different groups that I'm a part of where Etsy is just crazy with suspending accounts like left, right, and center. Now, sometimes some of these people are doing things that you're not supposed to do, like they're selling trademark products or whatever it may be. In that case, no, you're not getting your account back. If you went the Disney route or the Marvel route or whatever it is, Baby Yoda route that a lot of people did, and they're thinking, I can sell Baby Yoda because I crocheted it instead of making a print-on-demand product. So because it's handmade and I'm on Etsy, I'm protected. That's not the case at all. There are even people that are like, well, Disney is now coming up, the copyright is expiring. And it's like, yeah, the copyright on Steamboat Willie is expiring, but not the copyright on the other thing. Sometimes you'll get suspended if you didn't pay your bill. And it's funny because it seems you pay Etsy more than you make for the first like 6 months to a year, which is insane too. Anyway, the other follow-up is, how do you file an appeal for a permanently suspended account? There is a part here on Etsy in their help section which says members can be permanently or temporarily suspended. I'll make this bigger. And generally, they get an email indicating the type of suspension, permanent or temporary, the reason why, and the reason why the account was suspended. No, you don't. They don't tell you why. They rarely tell you why. So learn how to reinstate your temporarily suspended account. Usually that's because your bill came due on the 15th or something and you didn't pay it. Then they suspend it. When you pay your bill, it goes right back to open. Now, if you get suspended and you pay your bill and you go back to open, usually your traffic stops. That's what I found. If I have ever, because I have multiple Etsy shops, and if I miss paying a bill just because I forgot to pay it, I'll notice like it'll take a month or 2 or 3 before I can actually get traffic going again, which is super annoying. I don't like that at all. And then it says like Etsy takes policies very seriously, but we also know extenuating circumstances can happen, like medical or family emergencies, natural disasters, etc. So if I have a family emergency, you're going to suspend my account. That makes no sense. But you have the opportunity to appeal a permanent account suspension. Our specialist will make a final determination. I just laugh when I read this page about your account status based on new information you submit. So, when should I file an appeal? File one if your account's been permanently suspended. You've resolved the issues that led to it. You have 6 months from the day it was suspended to file an appeal. If you miss the window, your account will be permanently suspended. You won't be able to appeal. When shouldn't I file one? Okay, so yeah, it's usually a billing balance thing if it's temporary. Or listings. If you get a bunch of strikes on your listings, and this can happen because you're violating trademarks, or it can also happen because somebody claimed claimed your listing. And I've had people do that to me too. One guy he's like, you've used a little piece of my template thing in like a bunch of your listings, and can you just take them down, or I'm going to do strikes. That's what it is, against your listing. If you get a bunch of strikes against your listings in your account, it's probably going to be suspended and you're going to be in trouble. So then it's like appealing's fine. There's a button right there to file an appeal. Open it, sign into your suspended account, choose a reason if you appeal. If selecting other, enter a reason, add any actions you've taken to address the issues that caused the suspension and how you will change if you regain account access. Add any documents to support and choose submit appeal. So after you do that, you wait. And they're like a specialist, which is them just outsourcing it to the Philippines or whatever they do. Will review your appeal, your account history, and reply with a final decision over email. Sometimes these are just bots that are replying to you more and more. I find with Etsy, it's not a human that you talk to at all. Um, and they're like, due to the complex nature, it can take up to 2 weeks. No, it's just because of a backlog of how many accounts they suspended. And if you think about it from Etsy's point of view, that they deal with a lot of fraud too. So if you're a legit shop and you get suspended, that's one thing. But they also have like people who are literally trying to rip off Etsy buyers, and then they suspend them, and then they just wait for that person to appeal. Typically, the thief who's doing that is not going to bother filing an appeal, and Etsy knows that, so that's how they dealt with it right away. Not fun for legitimate sellers, but that's what happens. And then what happens if you're unsuccessful? No further consideration of reinstatement. This decision is final. So the fact is, two things. First of all, you can be suspended. You can. You don't own your shop. They own it. When you're on Etsy, you're building the Etsy brand. You are not building your own brand. That is not good. I know we all go to Etsy with the promise of all these buyers, and all I do is open a shop, and then I'll get a ton of sales, and it's a wonderful thing. I don't have to do any marketing. What business in the world do you not have to do any marketing for? Like, really? I mean, it doesn't make any sense. So they get you in with that. They kind of suck you into the Etsy universe with that. And then you get on there and you start listing products, and you're constantly at the risk of being suspended. Plus, you really don't get many sales. You just don't. The buyers that they say are there, I don't think they're there anymore. I think people aren't buying as much as, well, right now, we're in a downturn in the economy, people are not buying as much. So there's two strikes to me against Etsy. Number one is a suspension threat. Number two is the sales just aren't there. And number three, you'll get copied too on Etsy left, right, and center, which is not fun because when you list something, you get it going, it gets popular. Now, all of a sudden, it can be copied because there's so many spy tools out there, because Etsy's made their API available to developers who can search for listings that are doing really well. And you'll know, like if you've ever had a listing on Etsy that's doing really, really well, you'll see right away that it's instantly copied. Like, check this out. Now, I'm not knocking these spy tools, but I'm saying, let's say I want to sell a funny coffee mug. So I go here, I type that in, and then I just go over here to my spy tool, and I go to analytics, and I go to total sales, and which one did best? Well, that personalized one did best. And there's a custom pet mug, and here's one. That's a generic one. It's too peoply mug. It's too peoply outside. 718 reviews. Funny gift, funny mug, funny mugs in 20 plus baskets. So me seeing this, I can now make my own version very easily and sell it. The thing is, a lot of these people too, they'll try and trademark and copyright these phrases like left, right, and center. So if I do make a copy of this, I got to make, well, my own version. I have to check and make sure that it's legitimate, that there is no copyright or trademark on it before I do it. Because if there is, I guarantee you this person will come after you. But see how easy that is for me to find a winning mug that I can make. So now if I go, let's just type this in. It's to, how do you spell it? L-E-Y. And check this out. So yeah, I find that with my spy tool, and I think, oh, cool, I can make one too. And holy crap, like literally every account that sells mugs on Etsy is selling the exact same saying. And they're really, I mean, they change it a little bit, but look at that. There's 8 pages of results. So Etsy has quickly become a place where if you have something good, it's going to be copied, and then your sales are going to tank. And it's kind of getting to the point of like Amazon level of piracy, where, on Amazon, if you have a good product, somebody's going to copy it. Even Amazon themselves are going to copy it, and then they're going to undercut you and price you right out of the market. Etsy is getting really bad for this, and the spy tools are wonderful, but they're horrible at the same time. So there's a lot of reasons why Etsy is not the best place to be starting a business. If you're just looking for an online side hustle, it's great. If you have a year to spend to wait for sales, it's great. But me personally, I want to build my own store. So there's a bunch of options when you're building your own store. Um, Shopify is a good option, a little bit more expensive, but a good option. WooCommerce is a good option. But the hurdle to this one is you have to have your own hosting. So you have to be a little bit more advanced to use it. But what I'm saying is when you start seeing stuff like this all over the place in all these different groups where people are getting suspended, you could be next. Okay, and I'm not trying to fearmonger or anything. I'm just saying it is definitely a possibility. I even think like I put a lot of time and energy into my shops, and I don't like waking up every morning and just checking my inbox and thinking, am I getting suspended today? That's not fun. So I think Etsy's a good place to start. It's a good place to get like a side hustle type income, but you're not going to make a good living on it. You're just not unless you have like an 8-year-old store that's been doing well and you went through all the crap to get there. So my suggestion is if you're worried about getting suspended on Etsy, if you're interested in like opening your own shop, open your own shop. Don't stay on Etsy. You can learn how to drive traffic to your shop, and you will eliminate that frustration of not getting sales on Etsy too. So Etsy suspensions are super annoying. They are looming. They're constantly there. And yeah, I've had shops suspended in the past. Usually it was a billing thing because I forgot, and I've got them back. But I think I had one shop too that actually got shut down. I can't remember what it was for. So I have multiple. You could open another one, but sometimes they'll track your IP address and they won't let you. Anyway, the point is this: get off Etsy as soon as you can. Okay, start there, build it there, get it going, and then get off it. Go and create your own Shopify store or your own WooCommerce store and build your own brand. Put all your time, energy, and money into building your brand, not somebody else's. You'll be much happier. You won't get suspended. You don't have to worry about that. Well, on Shopify, you can get suspended if you're selling something against their terms and conditions. And again, with Shopify, you're like renting the store from Shopify, but with WooCommerce, you own it. So I'm at the level now where I want to own everything. I don't want to rent it. I don't want to build somebody else's brand. And that's why I'm shifting everything basically to my own shops, big time, in the print on demand world and in the digital world. So very thankful in the time I spent on Etsy just to get my digital stuff down pat. But now that I have it, I'm moving it all off of Etsy because this is too much. There's too much suspension talk. There's too many issues with Etsy right now. So long term, I think it'll work. Short term, I don't know. Anyway, let me know in the comments what you think. Are you worried about getting suspended from Etsy? Let me know, and we'll see you in the next one.